In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. We have a fabulous show for you tonight. We're introducing some of our friends and family. We're introducing them to help you and help us in the process of joining together and finding mates through their 7th annual singles retreat. Let's get started by introducing my brother, my friend, the co-host. He's a mentor, he's a father, he's a very good friend of mine and yours. Let me introduce you first, my brother, Brother Kawi Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Brother Ahmed, you too kind, brother. But once again, everybody, thank you for tuning into another episode of the Jock Brother Presents Let Us Make Man. This is a show we do every year because we really believe in the growth of our nation. We got the right couple here that's really pushing the growth of our nations today. So I always look forward to this show. And so please tune in, share it, because we're really trying to pump marriages in the Nation of Islam. So once again, my name is Brother Kawi. I'm very interested in the beginning of things, the root of things. I'm very happy to be able to come on here and present this type of content to the Jock Nation. So with no further ado, I'd like to say this. For those that have supported the Jock Brothers from day one, we thank you for that. We've come a long way. And I hear it every time I go to the mosque how far we have come. So I thank you for that support and those critiques. And those that have supported the Jock Brothers platform over the last almost 4 years now, we thank you. Words can't I can't really put in words how much we appreciate the financial contributions that come to Jock Brothers' way. Thank you for that. Please share this show. Please subscribe to the show and hit the bell for upcoming shows and important content that we got coming forward. Now, Jock Brothers, we have an initiative we have been pushing for the last 2 years, and that's our prison initiative. And we're trying to get the Final Call newspaper behind bars for our brothers and sisters around the country. We had a little friction when it came to the federal levels, but when it comes to the state level prisons, they're a little nicer. The rules are not as strict. So we're having a little bit more success than what we've had trying to get the Final Call behind bars on the federal level. So please continue to support those endeavors. Now, if you would like to help with that, it is an $18 donation to get the Final Call to one of our brothers and sisters that's behind bars for 3 months. And for 6 months, it's a $30 donation. Our cash app is at the bottom of the screens. $ Jock Bros, JAKQBROS. Depending on the type of donation you give, we'll know if it's for the 3 month subscription or the 6 month subscription, or you can just put it in the memo section of the cash app. So we thank you for those that have got behind the Jock Brothers in that endeavor. I think I've touched on everything I needed to touch on. So back to you, Ahmed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. My name is Brother Ahmed. Our other guest host, Brother Jackie, won't be on tonight, but he's here in spirit. But let's get right into introducing our other guests. First, let me bring on brother, and I'm so glad that he took time out of his busy schedule to come on. He's a great brother. I admire his hard work and dedication in the resurrection of our people. He holds the title of student minister in the great city of Charlotte, North Carolina, where they will be hosting this 7th annual singles retreat. Please help me bring on, with a strong Jock Brothers round of applause, our brother, your brother, Brother Corey Muhammad.
All right, praise be to Allah, dear brothers, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, one God to whom praise is forever due, who came to us in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, and in the name of his messenger Messiah, now exalted Christ, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and in the name of the brother we see daily showing us what love looks like, doing the work of Jesus right in our midst, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I do greet you, dear brothers, and thank you for the invitation. I greet you and I greet mighty couple coming out of the ATL, Brother Marcus and Sister Cecilia. I greet you all in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Thank you, bro. Thank you. And now let me introduce the couple who's been dedicating years, dedicating their time and efforts. Oh, they look so forward to bringing union to singles, bringing love and joy even to marriage couples. They have retreats for the singles. They have retreats for married couples. We don't know what to expect from this couple. Brother Marcus and Sister Cecilia have been in the process of becoming married for the last 32 years. They met while they were in high school. They are high school sweethearts, parents of 6 children. Brother Marcus and Sister Cecilia have been active registered members of the Nation of Islam under the leadership and guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for the nearly 30 years. Oh man, together they host internet webinars to strengthen both couples, single brothers and sisters. Brother Marcus and Sister Cecilia also provide marriage counseling to many people throughout the community and the nation. Brother Marcus and Sister Cecilia are blessed to be extremely hardworking and practical and inspirational, giving information to help marriages. Please bring on, with a strong Jock Brothers round of applause, my brother and sister, Sister Cecilia and Brother Marcus Muhammad.
Yeah, on mute. They frozen?
No, it's on mute. Let me see. I'll get unmute him. I just tried. Okay. Oh. Okay, but Corey, while they are working with them, can we start with what are you looking forward to on this weekend of the marriage retreat? And have you ever done something like this in this magnitude before?
In terms of hosting it in Charlotte, no, sir, we haven't. Okay. This will be the first time. We have had an event, a relationship event that Brother Student Minister Willie Muhammad came into the city, but he was primarily coming in for conflict resolution. But we also had some time to get the couples together at the mosque. So no, this will be the first time we've done a singles event like this on this level. So we're looking forward to it, brothers.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. And maybe they can.
Maybe they can log off and try to log back on. You think they can do that?
Okay, brother, Mrs. You got the floor. So,
all right.
Is this event is going to be downtown? Have you seen the location?
Yeah, well, Brother Marcus and Sister Cecilia will be able to give us a little more detail. I've seen the agenda and we have discussed the agenda. Some of it will take place at Muhammad Mosque number 36, but I know there's outings planned and there's getting dinner that's being planned. So some of those events will be at the mosque and others are other outings that they have set up in the agenda.
Okay. Minister Curry, can you expound on the important? Go ahead, Brother Ahmed.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Can you expound on the importance of marriage in the Nation of Islam? Yes, sir.
Absolutely, brother. And I want to do what is wise, and let's go to our dear minister's words, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I know that you all may have those that are looking, that are registered members of the Nation of Islam, and there's more than likely some that's looking, that's curious, or just looking, period. But when we dissect the words and listen to the words that the minister is going to share with us, it doesn't matter if we are registered members or not. What I'm getting ready to share with us from him, I believe we know it will make sense, period. And so the minister, in a message, our commitment to strong marriages secures the nation. This is what the minister said, and I quote, he says, "There's no success in building a nation without the building of family. He says there's no success in the building of family without the respect and honor for the institution of marriage. He says, however, we are beset with divorce and the problem of infidelity. And as a result of divorce and infidelity, hatred is building between mothers and fathers, which is causing children to suffer. The minister goes on, he says this. He says that I want to see successful marriage in the Nation of Islam and among Black people. He says marriage in Islam starts with the recognition that we are not complete without a woman or without a man. So using that as a base and using that as a foundation, the minister also talks about having the right kind of environments where we can get the sexes together, an environment that's, not the clubs and not environments where degenerate talk and all kind of other things can happen out of that. So Brother Marcus and Sister Cecilia, I'm sure we'll talk more, but the idea, the goal is to foster an environment that is structured, an environment that has a purpose. Because in the nation, we don't date. Right. We have a courtship process, and that process is intelligently designed. Think about that. Anytime we look at that word ship is a noun, it's a suffix. But it also, from a verb standpoint, is something that transports. So this whole courtship process is designed to help us do the right kind of discovery, do the right kind of questions. But sometime before we can even get to that, we have to have an environment we can come together and see someone that we may have an interest in, someone see us. And that's what this singles event is designed to be able to do, provide that environment, provide some guidance on the right kind of questions and all of that. And I'm sure there's more that will be expounded on this topic as we get more and hear from them on the agenda and what's set up. But that's what I would share. There may be some other questions you have while they're working on that, but that's the first part of it.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. I think they have their sound.
Yes, we do. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
How y'all doing, family?
Doing wonderful.
Praise belongs to Allah.
What's the question you had, Ahmed?
Oh no, I wanted to if you could first introduce the event.
Oh, well, we're having the wonderful 7th annual activity weekend. This is it's not a singles retreat. This is a singles activity weekend for the believers of the Nation of Islam. And we want to certainly invite you all to come to it because we want to help the Honorable Louis Farrakhan to do exactly what he wants to do with us, is to hopefully get us married to each other. I want what he wants, and I want the best of what we can do to help in this effort. So all praise is due to Allah for you two brothers, and we're happy to be on your show to do this kind of activity.
Praise be to Allah.
Because I noticed from what I've heard from the last event, I just wanted to, if you could give us, our audience, an idea of what attitude they should come to this event with.
Well, we thank you so much for having us on your show. We thank you so much for your commitment in having a show that you bring so many various believers and people onto your show. So we give kudos to the Jock Brothers for all that you guys do for our community at large, because that's what it takes. It takes consistency and doing good, because it's so easy to stop when things get tight, get rough. And that's what it's all about. The 7th annual single social weekend. We do not call it a retreat. We call it a social weekend because it's designed purposely for the believers in the nation. Our single social weekends are just for registered Muslims in the Nation of Islam. So because it's just for us, Therefore, we know what our restrictive laws are. You know, we know our rules of conduct. So therefore, we don't have to worry about certain things we would if it was, say, an event out in the world, so to speak. But it is designed for you to come with the mindset of first. Normally we do it around Ramadan. So we're a few weeks away from Ramadan now, but the mindset is to come with the mindset of I am looking for a lifetime partner. Some people say, well, I'm just coming to have fun. And we understand it's a singles event. Some people want to come and just have a good time. But the purpose is to find a mate. That is the purpose. The purpose is to come, brothers and sisters are in the environment, whether we're going to be going to the museum, we're looking at going to a symphony orchestra that's right there at your luxurious mall, Brother Minister Corey. They are doing every Sunday for the month of June, they're doing a symphony orchestra there in Charlotte, North Carolina. So being that that is the first Sunday of June, we will partake in looking wonderful and beautiful in our garments as sisters and brothers, looking as comfortable as they can, whether they're in their linen outfits, however comfortable they want to be, to enjoy that. It's all about doing things to socialize and be around each other. You get to be in a comfortable environment. We have maybe a couple hours, maybe 3 hours or so, where we'll get into some actual workshops, get your mind to thinking and processing. Processing what? As a brother, what am I looking for as a wife? I am the head of household. So I'm looking for a wife that fits my puzzle. My puzzle, because as the head of the household, you want to move your family in a certain direction. Well, what is that direction? What are your personal goals as a brother, as a man? What are your future aspirations? What kind of businesses are you looking at? What type of lifetime goals do you have that you're looking for a wife to help you to do? Because the minister told us, Honorable Louis Farrakhan, brother, if you're not going nowhere, doing nothing, leave the sisters alone. Now, we know that's not the idea of a FOI, fast moving, quick thinking, what, right down to the modern time. So therefore, you are ready and processing and putting into mind what you are desirous of. As sisters, I say it all the time, brothers, the sisters are waiting on you. And I say that because our class that we have as MGT and GCC is constantly, constantly, we thank Allah over and over for our national sister, Captain Naima Muhammad, because the way she has designed our class is so hands-on, is so interactive that when you leave, you want to put in action what you are learning. You know, so they're being prepared every Saturday. Every time we go to class, she's in preparation for making you a home, for helping that husband, rearing the children, sewing, cooking, and how to act at home and abroad. So we are consistently being fine-tuned in our classes and then taking that and spreading it abroad. So therefore, it's our brothers that we're waiting on. It's our brothers that we are waiting on to say, sister,
putting the pressure
let's
on
go into courtship. And we have to tell brothers and sisters this every singles retreat, every single social weekend, that courtship does not automatically mean you're going to marry this person. Some people are fearful of courtship because they think that means I have to marry this person.
No, it doesn't. It does not mean that at all, brothers and sisters. It just means that you're in courtship. You're exploring this brother, this sister, non-sexually. You're exploring their mind. That is the thing that we want to put over to you. We are not trying to get, if you think you're going to come here and do all kind of craziness, we're going to have chaperones that are going to ensure that you're not going to do any craziness in our company. Thank you so much for that.
So off of that statement, I got a couple of questions that popped up. One is, do you think that message is resonating with the brothers that this is not a prelude to marriage. We are courting, one. And two, or maybe you want to make number two first. Why do you think that, what can we do to inspire more participation from the brothers to come to these type of gatherings?
Well, I think that that's a wonderful question, brother. We have been searching for the answer as we do this. We had a lot of brothers at the last one, so we're going to hopefully strike the same formula that we had at the last one there in Miami, in Charlotte, North Carolina.
You want to tackle that as well, Student Minister Court?
Yes, sir. I'll share something on that. And just like anything else, testimonials. You know, oftentimes if we go to something that we like, we tell people about it. And so sometimes those of us that are brothers, we have to be willing to, those that did come, even if we recorded testimonies or got testimonies, to be able to come and share with others. I remember I'm a little perhaps different because I am, this is not my first marriage, my first wife, but I went to a singles retreat. And luckily, I didn't have that in mind, but I've been in the nation about 34, 35 years, and nobody necessarily just said it, but some kind of way it was understood that courtship meant marriage. I don't know if it went like that on the sister side, but it just kind of, the two got conflated some kind of way. I don't know how that happened, but some kind of way it did. But when I went to that first singles retreat, I only actually went to one, but I didn't go with that mindset. I'm glad I didn't, and I went and shared that with others. And this is one of the reasons why we're glad to host it here in Charlotte, because the hopes is some of the brothers that attended the last one, hopefully you're talking throughout the cities, and I'm definitely sharing with the singles that fit the age category in the city that I'm in, and just sharing because I see sisters and brothers that say they want to mate. So all we can do is make sure we put together all the environment and put together everything and see what happens from there.
And I want to just say, Brother Minister, thank you so much for sharing what you just shared, because that is the essential part of this. We're putting together this for you, to help you find the person that you want. You want a brother, an outstanding FOI. This is the opportunity to come get him. He's going to be at this singles retreat, this singles activity that we're doing. He's going to be there. Will you be there to find him, sister, to help him to find you? That's what we're trying to do. And I want to say, Brother Minister, that you also added a wonderful point. This is an age kind of restriction, because this is not for the younger believers in our mosque and study groups. This is for the older believers. We got one coming for the younger believers just around the corner, but I just wanted to tell you that the younger believers, they told me and Minister Patrick, they said, we are tired of the older brothers trying to court us. He's older than my father. They said that to me. So we are trying to prevent the older men from getting with the younger sisters, and the younger men from getting with the older sisters. I'm just saying that we don't want that at all. And I think that this is a perfect opportunity. This is older men for older women in the Nation of Islam, and that we hope that that will work for them and for you as well.
And it's 37 and up is the age. We've had some 35, 34. And we said if you desire to come, they can, because they're right there at the brink.
Yes.
But yeah, that out of Miami, that definitely was the case. And that wasn't the first time we have heard that. Because like I said, when you're 25, 30 years old, you know, you're not looking to marry your dad. You know, it's like with the mind, immediately they're like, no, I don't want that. Now you do have some who do. So if that is the case, then again, just reach out to us and let us know that is the age I'm looking for. Because again, we have our requirements. And see, that's the thing I love about the single socials, why so many believers love coming to the single social weekends, is because we discuss things that most of them say, I wasn't thinking about that, or I never thought about that. I never thought to look at it like this or to look at it like that. And one of the things we tell, and we thank a lot for our sister minister, Dr. Ava Muhammad, where she say, enjoy being single, fall in love with yourself, learn all about yourself, because the more you and Allah build a relationship, first and foremost, that other person comes, they are an addition to your already happy self. You're not looking for someone to make you happy, because if you're looking for another person to make you happy, then you are going to be sad all the time, because you're giving that power to someone else. But if I'm happy by myself, me and my God by myself, guess what? When you come into my life, you are an addition. We're going to make each other happy.
Right. Come on.
And auditing, trauma, all of these things we talk about consistently, because as we, by Allah's grace, help couples with counseling, we know the minister is divinely guided. We believe. I believe, us on here believe that he is the Jesus in our midst. So if we believe that, then whatever he instructs us to do, we're taught to do. Wherever he say stay from, stay from. He told us to get audited. Why did he tell us that? Because he knows the condition of our mind. He knows the condition of the traumas and the hell that we have been under and in. So therefore, when you are looking for a mate, you better ask questions. And I don't mean just asking questions, but listening, because I'm marrying all your baggage. I want us to think about that. You are marrying all that comes with this person, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So therefore, if I'm doing work on myself, deal with going auditing. I tell people all the time, if you have, most of us have jobs with benefits. Most of us don't know they have employee assistant programs where you can get therapy and counseling for, even if you have addictions or whatever, they have this free for their employees. Why? Because it's about making you healthy internally and externally. And over the last really 3 years, we really have been zoning in on that to help the singles, to help the married couples realize that we have to get help for ourselves to help our marriages and relationships be healthier and non-toxic.
Non-toxic, 100%. So let me ask a question. I'm a top soldier, brother or sister. I don't really communicate with brothers and sisters in the mosque like that. I'm asking from a brother or sister side. Would this event be like an icebreaker? Can I come there just to let me communicate? Let me just learn how to speak and talk to a brother or sister. Let me open up some dialogue. Is that part of what we're doing?
Yes, it is, brother. And I certainly want to tell that brother that we're going to have a special, a men's only class for you on Saturday morning, that me and Brother Corey and other brothers are going to do together to help you to master that aspect. We do understand that some of the brothers don't know the particulars about talking to this modern day Black woman, this MGT Black woman. We want to help them and do some role playing to help you to dialogue with them, respectful dialogue. That's what Minister Farrakhan wants. Respectful, not speaking under their skirt, none of that stuff, but respectful. No player up in here, but bring your righteousness to the table so that your righteousness can be examined. And I think that that's a wonderful question, brother. Thank you so much for it.
Okay, so I have most common issues when it comes to, I guess, courtships. Well, I think they're most common. I hear them a lot. I'm a single boy. I hear them a lot, so I put these questions down. And so I would like for to get those questions out the way, so we, I guess we could come to the event with a clear understanding how to approach. Okay, one is if the subject of marriage is brought about at a point of courtship, and I really should ask these questions in the reverse order, and who should relocate? Should the sister relocate? Should the brother relocate to where the sister at? The common theme is with the brothers is, well, I'm the breadwinner. You should come to me, so I got my stuff in place. What is your take on that?
That question is for each individual couple.
Let me scratch that.
Because there are so many different dynamics to that question. If a brother or sister has dual custody with children, the other parent may have it where the children can't leave that state.
That's
it's
right.
So many different dynamics out here today. That is a question for that couple to know that at a certain, we have couples right now who are married and they still may live in different states. They still live in different states. And I'm like, that's how they worked it out. So that's a question for each individual brother and sister, Brother Kwawi, because there's so many different dynamics that we've seen, that we've heard, that we have counseled. But again, we must know what we desire and what we want. Don't force something and then we're in the divorce court because we forced it. You want to make sure if you live in Mississippi and he lives in Jersey, okay, we're compatible, we mesh good, but now let's get down to the bare bones and tax of this relationship. Is I'm from New Jersey. I've never lived in the South, don't know anything about the South, have visitations and seeing areas and whatnot. Because again, all of these things can affect the relationship. And again, we have to know what I want, what I desire, what I'm looking for. Again, you talked about job. Well, whose job is it? Because most of the time, like you want the brother, he the head of the household, he has the income. But the reality is that is her income more? Is his? It's like I said, it's so many various ways it can go. It has to be specific for that couple and really to examine what is deal breakers and to know what your deal breakers are, because if you go back on your deal breakers, guess what happens? You're in the divorce court because your deal breaker, you let it go, and that is what we call the undercurrent of that relationship, and it breaks that relationship up. What about the person who has a mother or an elderly member or a child with special needs?
Sister Cecilia, don't mean to cut you.
Yes.
Ms. Corey got to go in 5 minutes. I really want. We got a couple of questions for you, Ms. Corey. Can you jump on that if you want to?
Yes, I can. And I apologize for having to interrupt. I just know that we have a class that we teach. I'm going to have to hop on in just a few moments.
So
go ahead, brother.
With that question?
Yeah, I would say sister handled that very well. I mean, I've seen both. We've had in the cities, we've had both, but it's something that needs to be talked about. And in my opinion, earlier in the process, before too many feelings have gotten involved, because we can start doing that, rationalizing our mind. Well, and like Sister said, eventually it turns out to be a problem. So earlier on, I already know what we're looking to do.
Yes, sir.
Well, I have another. If you don't mind, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I mean, if the minister has to leave, that's
This gonna be a quick question. Student Minister Nur, he made a comment that men, sisters and brothers are looking for. They have two different reasons for that why they should look for their mate. She said, brothers looking for a mate that respects them. Sister look for they more governed by love. Brothers more governed by respect. You want to expound on that in that dynamic there with the opposite sex?
Yes, brothers often, I'm glad you mentioned that, because part of this getting ready for relationships, think about this. Now, Quran, what we have there, what we have from the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Messiah in our midst, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But we have a talented pool of believers. There's more information out now than when I was younger. I mean, You mentioned Brother Nuri. He has books out, and there's other relationship material. We should treat this as a subject to study and study ourselves. And even in the mosque that we're in, I'm sure there's some examples of great marriages, good marriages, right where we're at. And if I'm a brother, it's wise if I go ask that brother FOI about some things about marriage. If I'm a sister, it'd be wise that I also go ask the sisters, because it's good to get the book knowledge, but it's also good a wise person learns from others' mistakes and or others' experience.
That's right.
And what you just said, the respect, yes, the black man want the respect. Think about that. We're taught that in the beginning that God created him second self, and from him second self, he didn't want to be alone. He wanted consolation. And part of that consolation is a certain way in which we handle respect. And so I know my wife know how to get me introduced about everything, because she knows how to speak the right way to me. And when I say the right way, I'm just means I believe that she understands that, and many other women understand that. But that's true in respect. And then love, there's other different books and things we can talk about, but everyone has maybe a different way in which they show love, but I strive to try to show love in a way in which I know my spouse would appreciate it. But to cover what you said, yes, that statement from Brother Nuri is right on time and deserves to be talked about even more.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you, there, brother. Student Minister Marcus, Sister Cecilia, y'all want to expound on that question as well?
Well, if you don't know that right there, you're going to enter the relationship with a profound deficit. Sisters must respect the husbands. The brothers must love their wives. And those two things are very key to making progress. I always tell people, I want to make progress in the relationship. I don't want to be in the relationship and we don't have any goals. We don't have anything that we're working on. So I have to know that I have to set goals. My wife has to set goals for the relationship, and setting and reaching goals is what gives you respect. It's not a respect that it's going to come just because you're the man. Well, it's the respect that comes from you having an agenda that you're trying to reach with her help. And the love comes when you both are reaching the goals of the relationship, of the marriage. And I think that a lot of times we don't talk enough about goals in a marriage. We don't talk about the relationship that you have the responsibility as a man to have a goal for your life in your marriage. Don't get married and think that that's it. I got married. No. Yeah, you got more to do, much more to do, brother. You got more love to give, my dear sister. You got to give love. I think also to receive love. I think a lot of us as men, we are so love deprived that we don't know what we're getting into when we get in a relationship with a woman. She looking for love? Well, suppose I ain't got love to give her. See, that's a thing that we have to deal with in a very respectful way in another forum. This is not the forum for it. I can tell you that we're going to cover that this time on the retreat that we're going to have, sir.
Beautiful. Do you have time for another question, brother? Student Mr. Cole, you got to go.
Yes, I was here to say I can do one more, then I'll need to go from there. But thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I take it. You want me to take it out, man? Or you?
Great. It was the last one. Yeah.
Day one questions. You know, the day one questions are usually where you from? You know, you having the siblings. Those are like day one, week one question when you just getting to know each other stage.
You like Pepsi or Coke?
So what?
You like Pepsi or Coke? Sorry.
No problem. So my question is, at what stage in the courtship process will you start to discuss finance? Of course, that's not day one. But at some point, what would you suggest is time to start discussing finance?
I think that depends on the couple as well, but it should be earlier on. Again, if we know what we're looking for, what are we striving to do? And when you say finance, do you mean what's your credit like? Do you mean, do you have any money saved up? What's your financial situation? Or do you mean all of the above?
I hit all of them.
All of that. And so in my opinion, if I had to go and look at questions where in the first third of the courtship, second, third, not saying that this exists, a third, for me personally, I'm going to do that. It won't be, as you mentioned, that's going to be a day one question, but it's going to probably be in that first third, maybe the early part of the 2/3 of this courtship when I want to find out, you know, if we're compatible on that end. And as the man being the maintainer, me personally, now brothers, I'm not looking for a woman that is going to meet me halfway on the bills or anything like that. And I know it's a different time. That's not what I was looking for. But the questions was asking more in finance, just trying to find out if we've got a certain goal in place. How are you with the finance that you currently have, the money that you're working with, you know, the credit and all those different things. But I think that should be something that may not be day one, but it don't need to be day 100 either. It needs to be somewhere, in my opinion, earlier on in there when we're asking those kind of questions. And I would say this before I finish. One of the questions that I asked when I was at an event similar, and I was single, of course, at the time. And one of the questions that it was like I don't want to say speed meeting, but that's kind of what it was. And the question that I asked was, out of the 7 units, which one are you most proficient in? Do you feel like you're most proficient in? And which one do you feel like you're most deficit in, or the one you feel like you need to do the most work on? Is probably a better way to put that. And as I asked that question at different ones, it just helped me get an idea. Now, of course, we can all give answers how we want to give, but it just helped me get an idea. And most didn't expect that type question, but it helped me better on because I knew what I was looking for or had a general idea. So those kind of questions, we may not even know what kind of questions to ask. I believe, and Brother Marcus and Sister Cecilia may mention it, but I believe they have a list of questions that you've been asked.
Yes.
And then there's Sister Katrina that has a book out on relationship talks.
Yes.
But I would suggest, you know, getting those. And the minister, let me tell you what he said. Someone asked, I'm going from memory here, how soon can you ask like things about STDs? And I think it was that. And he said, hey, right away, you don't need to waste a lot of time in asking those kind of questions. The idea, though, is that brother and sister, this is confidential what we're discussing.
Right.
So if we don't work out, I'm not expecting my business to be spread all out all over the place.
Come on, brother. Come
Hopefully
on.
be mature enough to come to this and be able to ask the right questions, knowing it's a safe zone, and knowing if something's a deal breaker, it's a deal breaker. But guess what? We didn't have any inappropriate relations, so there's no strong feelings there. So if it ain't working, we just keep it moving, and it's all right. But we feel some of those questions. I don't think it's ever necessarily too early to ask. It's not something I would ask on day one, but it's not too early to ask any of that because I'm exploring, I'm discovering, I'm in court. I want to see the evidence. I want to see the evidence so I can put on the robe, and my dear sister, she can put on the robe and make a judgment based on the evidence that we have and the witnesses that we'll talk to. That's probably something we'll get into, at another time. But we are happy and here because we have sisters and brothers that fit that range in the city that I'm in Charlotte. And so the Queen City is happy to host this coming up singles activity weekend. You know what? Every queen should be deserving of the king. Looking forward to having that here in the Queen City. Thank you, brother and brothers, for the invitation, and look forward to seeing you, brother Marcus and sister Cecilia, in just a few short weeks, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, good family.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you, sir.
Now, I wanted to ask Sister Cecilia, you said something that sparked thought in my mind. Where the believers are engaging in an event like this, what are some of the ways they can start to prepare themselves for it and their goals? You said goals, I just want to get married. Well, what are some of the ways that some of the believers can prepare themselves for this event?
Well, just like we were saying we should by now, but for some of us, we may not. We have to do a lot of self-analysis, self-correction, just like our study guides say, always thinking. So if you are 37 and older, are you looking for more children? What are your 5-year goals, your 10-year goals, your 20-year goals? What are you currently doing as a career? Is that going to be your career the rest of your life? Are you looking to switch careers? What am I looking to do for the future? Do I want to travel? You have to really look deep within yourself and ask these questions to yourself so that you will attract the person that meets you on the levels you want them to meet you. We are taught we are a God. Well, what does the God do if we know that the God came and studied for 42 years to deliver us? What must you do to deliver yourself?
Right.
And that means that I have to pull myself apart. I have to look at myself. What do I like? What don't I like? If someone asks me, well, what's your favorite food? Well, what is my favorite food? Asking ourselves these questions. He was talking about Sister Trina's book on relationship talks, our courtship to marriage book, Brother Nuri's books. We have so many books now on male-female relationships, that Dr. Ava's book, Real Love, Natural Beauty of the Woman, all of these different books that we have to dive into it and ask ourselves these questions. We've been dealing with, probably by God's grace, in the last 3 years, really digging into our self-improvement personally as an individual. What's my emotional intelligence? If we've never heard of that, go look it up. What is emotional intelligence? Then what are my personal trauma behaviors? You can look it up. What are trauma behaviors? Most of us are practicing 2 or 3 daily.
Every day.
And we don't even know it. But when we dive into it and you see, you're like, wow, well, where did that come from? That's why we need auditing. That's why we need to look at self-analysis through Dianetics. It's so many things that my preparation is. I want to remove as much of my past traumas off of myself as possible. Whatever that trauma was, a relationship was, it's diving deep within ourselves to prepare, because if I'm working on me, guess what? I'm going to attract something different than what I was attracted to before.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Oh, okay.
We don't have a lot of time left, Corey.
I see. Okay. All right. Well, how about this? Let's try this way. What's a reasonable time frame in which a brother should expect a reply after he submits his courtship request? A reason, in your opinion, a reasonable time frame?
I feel like you should wait about 30 days or less for a response from the sister that's interested in you. You submit the paper for her. She should submit a paper back for you, telling you that she's interested.
Wow. 30 days?
30 days.
That sounds like eternity, bro.
Well, I'm just trying to give you the benefit of the doubt that there are a lot of structures and people you got to go through. But 30 days, the max for you that you should wait, unless you and the sister have exchanged numbers, which you shouldn't do.
Come on.
But if you did do it, I understand that. But I do want you to know that we got a policy in place in the Nation of Islam, and that it should be respected. If you want to respect the Nation of Islam, you should obey the policies of the Nation of Islam.
And help your laborers to help you. Be someone's email, calling, texting. Brother so-and-so, I submitted papers. I haven't heard a response, because again, we know they get very busy.
Yes.
There's a lot of work to be done
Yes.
as laborers in our nation.
Yes.
So help them help you by just being a reminder that papers were submitted for sister so-and-so, and we're waiting on a response.
Right.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we got what? We got about 8 minutes to go, man. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So all right. I mean, most of these are courtship based.
Come on, brother, ask him.
Okay. Well, I really wanted to hear Sister Cecilia's reply to that, I guess what the men, your take on the men. We look more like for respect. Sisters, I guess, to govern by love. I want to hear your take on it. We got some questions going on as well in here.
That's absolutely the case. Men need respect like women need love. So love for a woman is what she needs to be cherished, to be loved. A man needs to be respected for who he is, respected for what he does. And once we break down those words, then we get to understand that we have counseled people where the men totally shut down because he felt that he was not respected at all. That's how heavy respect is for a man. That's how heavy it is that most men don't understand that a woman, when she communicates, that's who she is. That's a part of who she is. So therefore, that's showing her love just by listening to her talk.
Right.
Praise be to Allah.
I got one quick one. How do we filter when we get information from others about our relationships, about our courtships, about how do we filter everybody else's critiques and from the outside? How should we filter? Excuse me.
Well, you got to know what you want, and you got to know when you found what you wanted. And that's how, it was for me.
No,
I
but
knew it.
I'm talking
Yes.
about like advice. I'm talking about advice when it's coming from.
Well, yeah, you got to know what you want. You got to know what you're trying to achieve, because you got to have your mind made up. The most powerful thing in the world is a made up mind. You got to have a made up mind about the woman that you want, the man that you want. And, depending on what we've been through in life, once you found the person that you want, ain't nothing nobody else gonna tell you that's gonna mess you up, because you become laser focused on them, and nothing that anybody else is going to tell you is going to mess your mind up about them. And I mean, you're going to hear a lot of people give you a great advice. A lot of people gonna give you great advice. but it's about you deciding what you want out of a relationship with this person. If you focused on that, then that's what your focus is going to be.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. Go ahead, Corey.
No, we can do courtship discussions all day long. But at the end of the day, I really want you with the last few minutes to really just re-promote your event this upcoming weekend, and we'll go from there.
Well, yes. So the 7th annual Single Social Weekend, inshallah, will be in Charlotte, North Carolina, May 31st through June 3rd. Checkout for most of them will be that June 3rd, which is on that Monday. Some may check out that Sunday. The website, you can go right to www.themarriagekeepers.com, all one word, and go to the website where you will find the hotel information, your registration. And like we said, the $120 registration is also including some of the activities that we will be participating in. So please go and check that out. And you can also reach Brother Marcus directly at 770-256-8856. That's 770-256-8856, where you can reach Brother Marcus directly to call him. If you have any further questions, he can be reached at that number, and you can also text him if you have any issues or problems with registration or anything. And again, like we tell people, please, please, please. I know we are so famous for waiting to the last minute. But again, when we, just like Savior's Day, any other event, we have slots open for the hotels for a discount. And the hotel we have in Charlotte, we were able to get it for the believers for $89 a night. It's right there, centrally located, so that everything is around us already. Inshallah, we're working on the transportation for the believers there in the city to get to the mosque, where most of the activities, where we do our workshops at, and then leave the mosque to go do our outings. But we purposely got the hotel where it is right in an area where everything, if we want to go and stroll or walk around or whatever, it's all there in the vicinity. And again, please don't wait till the last minute where the hotel prices will go up. Again, it's designed to give you that deal so that it is as little as possible. We strive always to give y'all packages where we're striving not for it to break the bank.
Praise be to Allah. I want to say that, I went to their social last year in Miami.
Yes.
It was a great time. I want to let everybody know that I think there were 13 courtship requests.
Yes, they were
submitted by the last day. Have a very interactive type of courtship. Sister Cecilia, she's super aggressive when it comes to the brothers. She's not playing with the brothers, huddling up and not speaking to the sister. She ain't playing with that. And I think one time she walked around with some courtship request forms and handed it to brothers. So brothers, please show up and show out like we did in Miami. It just ain't no fun being a single brother in the Nation of Islam. We walking around half of ourselves. We handicapped, So,
preach, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it is time that we become our whole selves, and the only way we're going to do that is we have to get a wife to call our very own, but in particularly MGT.
That's right.
So brothers, if you're a little nervous about approaching the sisters, this is the courtship activity you would like to attend.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sister C, she do not play with you just hanging around and engaging around. She tell you, walk to the sister, brother. Don't be afraid. Say this. Brother Margaret would say that. and just so I just want to put that in there.
Yes, we gotta let them know this is not FOI and MGT class time.
It's not.
It is a social. You're there to talk and learn about the believers in the room. And we thank Allah, Brother Kwawi, for that, because that's why we call it the Single Social Weekend. You're there to socialize. 10 brothers are not going to be in a circle talking, 10 sisters in the No. We are purposely there to socialize with believers around the country to have a good time. And we ask by that Sunday, by God's grace, brothers, if a sister that you were interacting with over this weekend and you want to learn more about her, we ask the brother captains in those cities to give the brothers the papers to submit that very Sunday, because we don't want you to leave and violate nothing. We want you to be submitting papers, and by God's grace, that's why we get so many courtships, because we really push that you're here to find a sister this weekend. So by next week, I've submitted papers for sister so-and-so in this city, because through this Single Social Weekend, we were vibing. We were getting along. Our conversations were interesting. I mean, last year we had couples, once they started talking, it was like, are y'all going? They was like, no, we talking over here. And they were really into the conversations. They were having a good time, and you are in the room with the believers. You going out to dinner with each other. You're doing all this stuff. So you're really getting to learn and listen for what's intriguing in that person. So we thank Allah that every single social we have courtship papers. And I think, when was it? Not my New Orleans or one of them, we had like 8 or 9 marriages from one of the actual marriages that happened from the Single Social Weekend. So again, that's what it's designed for y'all to have a good time with each other, righteous time, like the minister said, a righteous good time for his believers, for Master Farad Muhammad's believers, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's believers, who are looking to build the kingdom of God that he came to bring on this earth for us all. And in order to do that, we have to have righteous, healthy marriages and relationships.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. So we want all the believers, those that are listening now, but if you know any believers in any other cities, please spread the word. Please spread the word. They can meet you at that number, correct?
Yes.
We got about 30 days.
Yeah, you got 30 days.
About 30 days. Spread the word. We want to pack it. We want our brothers and sisters to join on to this. We want our brothers and sisters to become married, because marriage is the power base of our nation. It's the foundation of our community. So let's all join on. We thank you, Brother Marcus, and we thank you, Sister Steve, for your dedication and hard work over the years. We pray that you have much success with your books, your counseling, and everything that you get involved in. So please, believers, support them in all that they do. Brother Kawi, you had one last statement.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I want this statement to go out to Blackstone Academy, that they are having a youth ball, a youth sneaker ball on May 25th. It is to raise money for Blackstone Academy, to allow them with the resources to keep going and to provide the type of equipment that they need for them to educate our youth. So the ages they are inviting for this, it's between age 7 and 18. If you're a sneakerhead, if you're a youth that love sneakers, why don't you get dressed up one time? Look like almost like a prom. Look as good as you can and wear your favorite sneakers, and come out there and have a good time. As you can see the flyer, they're gonna have food, games, prizes, so that the youth can have a good time. I will be on security during that event, and if you would like to make a donation to that event to keep it going, the Cash App information is, I put it in here. Oh, right here. If you just want to make a donation to
There
the
you
Blackstone
go.
Academy, please make a donation to them. Any amount from the bottom of your heart, it'll be used to help keep Blackstone Academy alive and well. All right, that's what I have in regards to that announcement, Brother Ahmed.
Okay, Brother Marcus said, did you want to say anything? Any last remarks about?
Just our website again is www.themarriagekeepers.com. Again, www.themarriagekeepers.com. We would love if you would be a part of this 7th annual singles weekend that we're going to have.
Okay, thank you both again. And one last piece of information.
Come on now.
Bilal and the Bullies, if you have not purchased this book, it's a book for our young brothers and sisters to learn a little bit about themselves, to inspire themselves, encourage themselves to meet and overcome obstacles and meet and overcome fear. Bilal and the Bullies, if you have a child in your home, please support this book and this author. www.brpublishing.com, or you can go on Amazon and purchase this book as well. Bilal and the Bullies. All right, thank you all. Thank you all, Jock Nation, for joining on with us tonight. And we'll be on next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. We'll have another fantastic show with much, much needed and wanted information to help raise and support our people in our community. Thank you all for joining on. Peace, blessings, and love. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Oh, that was my cue.